Preparing to go live. Still says it's setting up. I think we are live now.
Yep, it is. I see it.
All right, let me see if I can share this real quick. I think we are live now. I can hear my recording through you guys. Or yeah. Close player.
Danny, the one thing I don't see is the comments, like where the chat is. Danny, the one thing I don't see is the comments, where the chat is.
I have them here. Can you guys hear us okay? Yeah, they pulled up for me. Maybe it's just me that will be able to see them.
Cool. You'll have to be the MC.
The leader.
Are we live in the group?
Just on YouTube.
Okay, can you drop the link maybe?
I already did.
Okay, sweet.
All right, if you guys can hear us okay and you can see us okay, drop a 1 in the chat. It's a sim, by the way. Hi, Bogdan. Been a while. Yes, we can hear you. Okay, it looks like everybody can hear us loud and clear. Pretty cool. Bear with us. This is our first time ever going live on YouTube here. I don't know how many people we have on here. It doesn't show me much, but we'll just wing it.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But you can see comments coming in real time now?
Yeah, like, so when I went live on Zoom, it brought up another window and I can see it. It's like a player.
Sweet. Well, you'll just have to kind of let us know what's coming through.
Yeah, for sure. No, I'll do that.
Want to kick us off?
Yes, sir. Let's get it. Yeah, I wish I could see how many people are on here. Carter, what's going on, man? So welcome everybody to the stream. So as a lot of you guys know, we go live 5 to 6 times a week with our students, but this is actually our first time going live on YouTube ever. So if this is your first time ever on any of our lives, whether it's the Facebook group or on YouTube, drop a 2 in the chat. Drop a 2. I don't know how much of a lag there's going to be, but I think there's definitely a lag on what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I think there is. No worries.
Cool. So I'm joined today by the co-founders of EFX, Joe Amara and Bogdan Padua. And for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Danny Reardon. 2s are rolling in now. And I'm originally from Boston, where I worked full-time as a commercial painter and currently residing in North Carolina with the boys. They also live in North Carolina. And that's one of the big reasons I came down here. And this is where I'm trading full-time and have been for roughly 5 years now. I'm also extremely passionate about helping others follow in my footsteps. So the reason we decided to go live today was for a few reasons. And then probably after we go through those, we could probably do like an open Q&A and go through some questions if that's cool with you guys.
Sounds great.
Did I trade today? I did not. And that was primarily because of the bank holiday today. It's the President's Day. So like I said, we'll open up for a Q&A after, and we'll go through some questions in the chat, and let's run through a couple of things, the main reasons why we were on here today going live. So a lot of you guys know that we provide a lot of free value via email, via our free Facebook group, and inside this YouTube page where we have 200 plus videos. And every Thursday, we upload new videos inside this YouTube page, all trading related content, educational, mindset related stuff. And we're going through some internal team changes right now with our content team and our editors. But within the next week or so, we're going to be back to releasing videos every single week. And then we're also going to be doing more live calls like this, live trainings, Q&As, open discussion. We'll have Zoom calls like this where we'll drop the link and we'll pull you on so you can jump on the Zoom call and you can chat with us. So I think that will be really cool. And if you want to consume free content, by all means, don't let anyone stop you. All we ask is that if you get value from any of our videos, to engage with those videos and then share those videos for other people. And the other main reason why we're on here today is we have a lot of people, a ton of people who reach out to us via message on Facebook or Instagram, or leave comments on our YouTube videos asking, how do we work with you? And the main reason why they want to do that is because they want to speed track their results. So for anyone who is interested in working with me closer with the trading and speed tracking your results, last week, we relaunched our EFX Kickstarter program, and we relaunched it for $27. Now, this was originally priced at $1,500. And the reason why we did this was to make the barrier to entry extremely low. And we just thought as a team that this would be a really good way to build relationships and trust with new people. So what do you guys think? Should we show the Kickstarter?
I think what we should do is actually go back, and I can kind of open that up a little bit, tell the story of how we got here, what our vision is, what we're all about. And then what I'm thinking we do, Danny, is exactly what you're saying. Maybe I can pull up open on like a Figma or something and just plot all the different ways that people can stay in touch with our content and work with us. And then if needed, we can screen share and dive into each one of those specifically. How does that sound?
Yeah, I can do that. Do you want to go into how EFX came about?
Yeah, I can do it. I can open up for a minute. So what's up, everybody? It's a little challenging to do this when I don't see any faces or names or any of the comments. So Danny, feel free to kind of keep me in the loop with anything that's being dropped. What I'd love for everyone to do that's listening is drop us a quick comment, like introducing yourself and letting us know where you are in your trading journey. And then Danny, as long as you have a good pulse on that, it'll help inform how we can conduct this call so that you get the most amount of value. Because we recognize everyone's at a different stage in their journey. Some of you might be completely brand new. You're just clicking around on YouTube. Others of you are like full-time traders and you're trying to really scale your funded accounts. And some of you, most of you probably are somewhere in the middle, right? So let us know, drop a comment, introduce yourself, and let us know where you are in the journey so that we can tailor this content specifically today for your best interest. So to back up a little bit, like I said, my name is Bogdan. I'm one of the 3 co-founders here. And a few years ago, I was super interested in trading. I love this idea of being able to make money from anywhere in the world without having to talk to people, without having to sell something, just being able to be alone in my room, playing some cool music and just printing money. And I'm not sure if anyone can relate to that, but that's the dream, right? We just want to like do almost nothing and just make a ton of money, right? Now, granted, and obviously, as anyone who's been trading longer than 2 weeks knows, trading isn't easy. It isn't easy at all. It's actually really, really hard. But now we can say this with confidence, having now replicated our personal success with hundreds of people, it's worth it. In the end, it is absolutely worth it, 1000%. So a few years ago, when that bug kind of bit me, and I have Joe to kind of blame for that because Joe had known me for a few years and he reached out to me saying, hey man, why don't we look into this trading thing? We're both smart, capable guys. We're hardworking, we're diligent and persistent. Why don't we look into trading? Because we saw people, I think on social media making a ton of money, but we had just never been exposed to it. So we started, jumping on forums, we jumped in groups, we jumped in, some of the popular MLMs, some of the same stuff maybe many of you are in right now. And what we found is that we were confused, we were lost, we were just overloaded with information. We didn't know what to do with it all. And we had no idea where to go. We were both very fortunate in that we stumbled across Danny and we saw his success. So at the time, I think, Danny, you were probably a multiple 6-figure trader. And you were very open and honest about your story. And we were super inspired personally by the fact that you were broke and homeless. And now at the time, you were a multiple six-figure trader providing for yourself. I think you had your first child shortly before, and we were just super motivated by that. So I think it was me who reached out to you and said, hey man, like, can you coach us? Can you mentor us? Can you just teach us everything that you know? Like, how do I get close to you? If there's anything I've learned over the last decade, it's that when there's some fire, when there's heat, you want to get as close as you possibly can. Intimacy is everything. In a world right now where there's so much information all over the place, getting close to the fire, as close to the sources you possibly can, is the superpower. And Joe and I both recognize that. So we both reached out to Danny. We found a way to work with him privately. And he started helping us, coaching us one-on-one, face-to-face, just kind of like what we're doing right now. And we saw firsthand the impact that level of intimacy had on our trading. So much so that when I found out Danny was going to be in London for an event, I paid my own way and flew out just to meet him because I had to get in front of him. When I flew out to meet him and we got together and we hung out in person in London, the idea for everything that we do today came about. And it came about largely because of the problems that we saw in this industry. Like I said, there's so much information. There's no implementation. There's no authenticity. There's no hand-holding and support. There's just videos on the internet and people lost, frustrated, and stuck with this abundance of information and not knowing what to do with it and how to actually get the life that they're looking for, which, like I said at the beginning, is usually to leave their 9-to-5 job and do more of what they love and less of what they hate. Would you guys agree with that? Any of you listening? Like, that's the goal. That's what we're trying to do here. We love that. And so we started, and we just took what was working with us personally and we replicated it at scale. Now today, we've got thousands of customers all over the world, hundreds of whom are one-on-one private clients. We have lots of different ways that we help people, one of which is the free content that we put here on YouTube. This content, we spend a lot of money and spend a lot of time just putting it out there because we know how valuable it is. And we want the barrier to entry as low as possible. The second is our free Facebook group, which I'm sure Danny can link to if he hasn't already. Completely free, no frills, no tricks, just a good place to get access to other people on the same journey. And then we've got a few different options, like Danny was talking about. We've got our Kickstarter program, which breaks down our strategy. We've got a community as well that supports that. And then we have higher end students who work with us one-on-one to leave their 9-to-5 job and become full-time traders in 6 to 12 months. So we've got lots of different things that we can do. And there's lots of different ways I can take this conversation. But Joe, do you want to chime in and add anything to the story? I did my best to kind of make it short. But
no, that was good, dude. That was good.
Yeah, I think the only thing I would add is, the nature of this, interest group, if you will, people that want to day trade, it comes with a lot of stigma and negative connotations around it. And it's because it's underserved. And so a big reason why we want to do this is to kind of be transparent, right? I mean, you literally just said it's not easy, but if you actually do the work, you can actually achieve results. And to be quite frank, like, a lot of people are seeking the result without wanting to do the work. And that's another reason why we're putting up free content, because to be honest with you all, we only want to work with our people. We want to work with people that actually work hard like we did, right? And that actually want to do this to either supplement their income or see progress on a consistent basis like Danny and others have. And so it really is like a bit of a filter for us to serve the industry at large and then work with the people that want to work with us closely. And so this is a way for you guys to build a relationship with us. And you guys can see from, if you just do general search on our company, the amazing feedback that we get from our clients. Probably the reason why you haven't seen us until recently is because we really went deep on solving real problems for people, right? And really, really listening to what they wanted in a community group, in a support group, with the actual tactical sauce, as we like to call it, right? With how to teach. And for my money, and we did spend money personally going to Danny. Danny's the best in the business as far as simplifying the information. And now you get to see 2 more faces. We have an entire team behind us that are amazing, amazing people. Not only from a support standpoint, but from a client success standpoint. We've got an entire team of full-time traders that really do this every single day, right? And that is another part that most people won't tell you in the industry. They'll flash the Lambos, they'll flash the watches, and they probably have done maybe 1 or 2 profitable trades in their life, and they're all of a sudden gurus, right? And so you're not going to see us flashing all this kind of stuff. And if you see those 2 videos on our YouTube channel, and I've actually watched them, we're actually mocking the people that are doing that. So don't think that we're doing that, right? So there is more to this game. And the people that are actually winning are probably looking a lot more normal than you might think. So we love what we do. We've been doing this every single day, 7 days a week for 3 years. And just like you'll see in a few minutes when we open this up for Q&A, there's never a dumb question. We answer the same questions every single day. We can talk to you at whatever level trader you are, and we're happy to do it. Like for us, it's about serving. And then naturally, if you want to work closer with us, we've got options for that.
Good stuff. Danny, do you want to let us know if any new comments or updates have come through in the chat?
Yeah, the chat's going a little slow. We're approaching 50 people on this stream now. Christian said, great people came together and changed so many people's lives already. And yeah, a lot of people were just saying 1,000% and agreeing with what you were saying previously.
Sorry, I'm muted. To repeat what I said earlier, I would love for those of you who are willing to share to just drop a short kind of description of where you're at in your journey, and we can kind of speak to that. You know, the first step in changing any situation is recognizing what the situation is. You know, speaking into existence, what is reality now relative to where you're trying to go? And the first step for many of you might be just putting that in the chat. This is who I am. This is where I am. This is what I'm struggling with, but this is where I'm ultimately going. And we can do everything in our power, obviously, to help you and support you in that goal.
Christian said, small profitable stage. Let's see, let me scroll up a bit. Somebody asked about trading Monday. We'll get to that at the end when we open up the Q&A. Yeah, the chat's quiet. The chat's quiet. I get it on my phone too, so.
I think you're muted, Joe.
This will be posted too. So for people that are watching the replay, our intention this week is to really utilize the communities that we've sort of built here on YouTube. I mean, our YouTube channel has grown, gosh, pretty exponentially here in the last couple of months. So appreciate all of you guys for subscribing and tuning in. And as well, our Facebook group, which we're revamping. And that's the thing about social media, guys, is like, we're testing too. Like we want to make sure that the message is getting out to people that want to hear it. And the best way that we know that you guys are hearing it is free to engage. So every comment that's being left under our posts, we answer. And it's not just like a thumbs up or an emoji. We're really trying to actually answer the questions, or we actually notate anybody who makes a recommendation for certain subject matter that they want to see on the channel. So definitely don't be shy. Engage with us. This week, we're going to be going live a whole lot more just to get the exposure. Starting next week and beyond, we're going to do a lot more tactical chart stuff, mindset stuff, and trading specific stuff. So let's heat this baby up.
For sure. Carter Financial said something pretty cool, agreeing with what you guys said. 100% looks do not match reality. I prepare tax returns for thousands of clients every year, and every year I know who actually wins and whose friends think they win. Pretty cool. Al Pesh, and I apologize if I did not pronounce that correctly. He said profitable temporarily, and then I lost it all. And then some other miscellaneous questions. What we'll do is all the other questions that will, you know, anything besides what we're talking about now, we'll answer all of that at the end. I'm keeping track of the chat. So all that stuff, I'm not skipping over it. We'll come back to it. I've just started subscribing and listening to you. I took a class a few years back and trying to figure things out still. How do I only get the EFX in the trenches, as I already have the Kickstarter for 500 a month back then, and now it's 27. So we'll just give it to you. We'll just give it to you. So send me an email at team@easyfxtrading.com and we'll just give it to you. Can you do analysis on Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies? We can definitely do some of that in more of our live streams coming up, but we probably won't be on the charts for this call, but we can definitely do some crypto. Cool.
Danny, not to throw you on the spot here, something that I think might be relevant / beneficial for those who are kind of listening right now is just really for you to speak to the state of the industry, the state of the markets right now, and where the most opportunity is for people who are hungry. Like where, and maybe a way I could tee up the question is like, what are you seeing a lot of traders make in terms of mistakes that they're doing consistently right now versus the 1 to 3% of traders who are winning and doing essentially what you do? What do you say? What would you say are some of the differences there, and where should people be, thinking?
So there's probably quite a few things. To narrow it down, I can just say, without having to even think about the difference between the small percentage of people that are actually doing it is taking consistent imperfect action. That's it. In terms of what I see with people not finding success, it's probably to the point where it's just information overload and it's just consuming and just not taking action, or just having too many different things that they're following and just probably confusing themselves more than anything. That's probably a big one that we see, especially as I got further into YouTube, because we can kind of dive into and see what people are doing. And we see a lot of people that are following smart money. Some people are doing retail based stuff. Some people are doing crypto. Some people are doing Forex and options, or they're asking us options or crypto related stuff on a Forex predominant channel. It's having that singular focus, right? And when you have success with that one thing, I would say that would be the time to diversify. I recently dropped a post, I think it was an email as well, where we talked about that, where we said a lot of people are trying to, what's that quote? The jack of all trades, master of none. I don't know exactly how it goes, but it was talking about exactly that, where people are coming in even to the trading space and they just think trading, that's one thing. But it's encompassing a lot of different things. The trading, Forex, the options, the different forms of trading stocks, the many different ways that you can be involved in cryptocurrency, versus just focusing on one thing. And I think that was a big part of my success, was just, I didn't get involved with stocks. I didn't get involved with day trading crypto. I just focused on Forex, and that's where all my time, that's where all my energy was spent. And I don't think it's, I think that's just a big denominator in why I'm at where I'm at today.
That's awesome. So being able to say no to shiny object syndrome and all the other distractions that are out there, pick a lane and stick with it long enough to see the fruit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, let's see here. I'm on the Kickstarter program. I will be joining the university soon. Amazing content so far. I learned so much already. Best decision I have ever made. Thank you for your knowledge. Appreciate that, man. Means a lot. Mark says, started my journey 5 months ago and found Kickstarter amazing along with the other videos. Do you provide signals? Some newbies always look for those. We do not. We do not. Ricky says, going to start the Kickstarter again, as I started it a while back and got interrupted with my Forex learning, ready to start again. Well, it's awesome to hear that, Ricky. So I can take this in whatever direction you guys are up for.
What I was going to do, Danny, is just share my screen maybe.
Sure.
And then do like just in real time, just kind of plot the different ways that people can consume our content and work.
Yeah, that's cool.
Especially when we're throwing out different terms right now. There are probably people who are like, what the heck is a Kickstarter?
Yeah, that works. And then we can open up for questions. So if you have any questions regarding anything we're talking about today or trading related stuff, hang on to the end of what Bogdan's going to show you, and then we'll answer those. And maybe we'll even pull some people on the Zoom. Who knows?
That'd be
We
cool.
can just talk face to face.
Love that. Love that. Love that.
Yes, we do live trade with some of our students inside our programs.
So actually above Kickstarter.
I'd add YouTube in the Facebook group. And the newsletter, honestly, too.
Got too much stuff, Joe.
Too much stuff, but it's all.
We're putting out too much value. That is the biggest challenge, is like there's so many different ways that people can work with us. My intention is just to make everyone on this call aware of them, and then let you kind of self-select and identify with whatever is going to be best for you. And for many of you, it's probably just to stay seated right where you are. Just keep watching on YouTube, keep staying subscribed, keep dropping comments. Let us know how we can make the content better. You said what, newsletter?
Yep.
Cool.
YouTube/Facebook/newsletter, basically all the same.
Yeah. Okay. So all this stuff, if you guys want free value, it's going to be this same stuff you've been getting. YouTube, newsletter, Facebook. Joe, what's the best way people can sign up for a newsletter?
Yeah, just go to the website, and at the bottom there's a like a little opt-in space for the newsletter.
I'll drop the link for it right now.
And then Facebook?
Yep, just the Facebook group. And full transparency, like we will not admit you if you don't answer the questions, just because we keep a tight hold on the group. Like we don't let people spam links. Like there's not really other opinions welcomed. Like we want people to get the right information. Now, opinions on what we're talking about, for sure. Questions, constructive stuff like that, yes. But there's no like signals, WhatsApp channels being spammed all over our Facebook group. So if we don't deem your Facebook as legit, you're probably not getting let in.
Good stuff. Cool. So we've got YouTube, we've got our newsletter, we've got Facebook. Our website is this, EasyFX Trading. We're currently in the process of rebranding. So you guys might see that shift away from EasyFX Trading to EFX University. That's kind of our catch-all branding name. Let us know if you want to invite into that Facebook group. Like Joe said, make sure to answer the questions. We want to keep that group tight. Same with that, pretty much everything that we do. We don't want to work with everybody. We really don't. We want things to be very intimate, and we want to be able to give as much hands-on support and to provide the most intimate experience so that people get the best results. Let's see here. So this is all the free stuff. Everything below this line is not free. Okay. Fortunately for the thousands of students that we have, usually money follows value, right? Pretty simple. Kickstarter is going to be the best place you can learn the step-by-step breakdown of our smart money strategy. Like Danny said, we used to charge $1,500 for this information. And then we challenged ourselves to make it even more accessible, because we had a lot of really hardworking people who said, yeah, that's great. I love this stuff and I want to learn more, but I can't swing $1,500. So we dropped it down to $497, $500. Then just a couple of weeks ago, we said, shoot, why don't we basically give it away? So we dropped it down to the absolute lowest amount that we could afford to give it away for, which is $27. Okay. It's a step-by-step breakdown of our strategy. It's do it on your own kind of pace. It's all self-guided. There's no hands-on coaching, no support, no accountability, which is why we introduced community. Community is actually new, in full transparency. When we first started EFX, we were a Discord community that had like 600 plus people in it. It's very loud, very crowded, very noisy. So we did away with that. Now we relaunched the community as a much more intimate experience. So for those of you who, it's a perfect addition really to Kickstarter. If you've got the training system and you want a little bit of support, community is going to be great. That's $97 a month. EFX University is a whole different beast. Like I almost shouldn't even have it on the same graph, because EFX University is where the three of us and our full-time team basically looks at your situation, looks at where you are right now with your trading, where you want to go with your trading, the timeline that you'd like to achieve those goals by. And then we work with you hands-on, face-to-face, just like we're meeting right now, to get results or die trying. So what that means is daily live calls, live training, one-on-one support. Like Danny said, I think earlier in this call, We have full-time people whose sole job is to get results. And these are not like VAs from the Philippines. These are multi-six-figure and even seven-figure traders who started out as students who are now on payroll to literally help you replicate what they've been able to do. 24/7. Am I coming through okay, Danny?
You're good. You're good, man.
24/7 accountability, or excuse me, group community. A fully fleshed out step-by-step university curriculum. Getting cut off. By the way, this curriculum is not the same as Kickstarter. Kickstarter is strategy. EFXU covers everything from systems to strategy to mindset to funding to scaling those funded accounts to managing the wealth that you're creating and actually compounding that over time. It's the fully fleshed out A to Z curriculum. But the truth is, just like I said earlier, information itself is only so much, it's only so valuable. It's the implementation and the tailored accountability and support and coaching to help you apply the information is what's ultimately helping so many people leave their 9-to-5 job and become a full-time trader in like a few months. We see it every single week. We see results. We see people dropping their payouts from funded accounts or otherwise. Usually those results are coming from EFXU. They're not coming from this stuff. And I'll pause right here, Danny. I'm not sure if there are any new questions or comments that have been dropped in the chat, but I felt like a full encompassing overview might be beneficial.
Yeah, no, it's good. A lot of people they have a couple of questions that would probably be best for after. Michael said it was a leap of faith joining EFX, but I promise you it's worth it. If you can stay disciplined, there's nothing like this community of traders who actually care about your success and well-being. And a lot of just random questions that we can probably even, I'm thinking, just pull people right on this call as well. I think that'd be really cool.
At the risk of, this is a big risk, actually, if you drop the trust pilot, we've had several people literally say, does any of this sound like super just like infomercially or like fake? That's how good the responses look. But like full transparency, guys, these are real people. And if you know Trustpilot or care to know.
You're muted, Joe.
Talk about a cliffhanger.
Yeah, I think he's with the wife.
Yeah,
and kids,
yeah,
so.
I'm with the kiddos. I'm sorry, guys, but if you care to know, like the true like breadth of our community and the tribe that we've built, it is literally in the words that they shared on our Trustpilot, like from their mouth, and it's we're humbled by it. We don't take it for granted, and I think it'd be a great share for people to like just read through the reviews.
Yeah, guys, you can just Google EasyFX Trading Trustpilot. It'll be the first link. We're BBB accredited as a business, and we have quite literally dozens and dozens and dozens of case studies. Like we couldn't even fit them all on one page of people who are able to replicate everything that we're talking about. Okay, so I'm not here to sell anything. Again, I'm here to just make everyone available of this stuff because we've been so focused on just providing free value on YouTube that I think, Danny, haven't maybe done the best job of making people aware of what that next step could look like. So like I said, $27 for Kickstarter communities, just under $100 a month. Those are very affordable, easily accessible. EFXU is not for most people. EFXU is invite only. You've got to apply for it. Oftentimes we have a wait list just to join, and it's highly customized based on your goals. So usually where we go, if people want to join EFXU, is first make that intention known. Even drop a comment, I want to join EFXU, or tell me about EFXU. And if that's the case, what we would do is steer you towards an application where you can give us more information about what you're trying to do, where you're at right now. We can see if it even makes sense, because it's probably not going to be a fit for most people, and we're okay with that, which is why, again, it's invite only. If we do think you might be a fit, we'll hook you up with one of our full-time trading advisors who do nothing but vet these applications, help lead the community, and they'll meet with you one-on-one. And worst case scenario, they'll give you a tailored step-by-step game plan to show you what to do and how to get to where you're trying to go. Worst case scenario, or was that worst case scenario? Best case scenario, they'll invite you in to work with us if we have spots available at that time. So that's what the next steps would look like if you're looking for EFXU. So if that's the case, obviously you can just go to our website, check out information there, or you can just drop a comment and say, hey, tell me about EFXU. I'm interested. Danny, I'll kind of pass the reins over to you unless you feel like I should go deeper anyway.
Sure. No, I mean, that's good. And I think it's also worth mentioning as well, like even something like our Kickstarter for $27, if that is something that you want to participate in and check that out, if you were to get that and you weren't, and it's not some of the best Forex trading education that you can consume, especially for that price point, like if you don't find it valuable, we'll just refund you the money. It's that simple. Well, how about this? You want me to, I'm going to drop the Zoom link. You want to,
let's do it.
Run through some questions. And I'm just going to drop, hey, so I'm going to drop this Zoom link. If you guys want to hop on here and you can chat with us face to face, you can ask us questions. I'm dropping that Zoom link in the chat right now. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll up a little bit because we do have quite a few questions rolling in now. We have about 50 people on the live stream. I'm just going to quickly bang out some of these ones at the top. So somebody said, people do not trade on Mondays. Why? So I do. I mean, I normally do. The only reason why I didn't today was just bank holiday, just low volume in the market. Other than that, there's no reason, in my opinion. If your edge is present, your confirmations are there, in my opinion, there's no reason not to trade Mondays. Let's see here. Scroll down a little bit. Okay, we got through some of those already. And feel free to just click that link and it'll bring you right on the Zoom. And you can chat with us in person. Thank you for explaining this. No problem. Can you do a training session on MT4 for a newbie? Absolutely. We definitely have some of those videos and we can be dropping some of those. I think we do have some on our YouTube page that I think will be helpful. I keep things very simple. So a lot of these things like TradingView MT4, I keep extremely simple and I don't use 90% of what's on there. So, you know, for example, MT4, the only tool that I use to execute my trades is one-click trade. And it's a built-in calculator, position size calculator, does everything I need it to do. And we have videos for that on our YouTube page. I've been putting all my focus on crypto, but having problems with day trading. So this is just my recommendation. Of course, you can do your own due diligence and you can make your own decision. But I would recommend, like, I've had success with crypto, investing in crypto. Sure, you can day trade it and people do have success with it, but it's just a different beast and it's extremely volatile. And I think you'll find success with Forex. Forex is just, I just think in terms of when you're trying to find consistency, like that's from there to crypto. I think it's just something you graduate into. Just like people, when they try learning to trade US 30 or NAS or S&P or even gold, right? Like I didn't start trading those until I had consistent results. I graduated into those. And I think people just try to dive right into those and they end up getting burned without the right experience and systems in place. So that's just my recommendation. Take it for what you will. So is the community $97 a month? If yes, then it's cheaper than some of the others out there. Yes, it's $97 a month. So in the community, will there be limited training classes, calls from Danny or other trainers? Yeah, we'll have, so in both. So obviously EFXU is top heavy. We do have some people hopping on here now, so there's definitely a lag. I'm just going to make sure everybody's muted as you're coming on, and then you can feel free to unmute yourself. Appreciate everybody hopping on here. But yeah, so EFXU, we probably do 5 to 6 live calls a week. And it's myself and, you know, like Meg, for example. Meg is my first student to do 7 figures, and he's up to like 3.2 million now that he's managing. And The community, we do the same, but it's just not as robust. So I think we're doing 1 or 2 lives in there every single week, but there's a lot of stuff. We're continuously dropping value in there, and videos and a whole nine. It's a great way to get support. Welcome everybody who's hopping on the Zoom with us. Feel free to turn your camera on, and you guys can unmute and chat with us as well.
And this is what I'll say too, Danny, to piggyback off what you were saying. If you're unsure what to do, how to work with us, you're like, I don't know, Kickstarter looks cool, community sounds great, but then this EFXU thing sounds good. Go to our website and just apply. Give us some information and we'll be able to help you better kind of self-select. And for the record, because a lot of times people ask this, 80 to 90% of the people who apply to work with us, we say, hey, just stick with YouTube because you don't need the other stuff. We recognize that all the other offers are for a very specific type of person who's extremely motivated to get results as quickly as possible with the least amount of effort, and they don't want to go through the typical trial and error of doing things on their own. But that's not most people. But on our website, again, just hit the button. It says like apply now. It'll take you 3 minutes to do the questionnaire, and that'll give us the information that we need to really point you in the best direction. Okay. Someone asked about the Kickstarter link.
Sure, I can drop that. As I'm doing that, Carter asked, where should someone start from ground zero with no reference point for getting started? Something providing initial education, capital needed to get started, as well as a tech stack. So I would probably, YouTube is always a good spot for that. I would definitely, if you're not already, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have 200 plus videos, ranging from beginner stuff to mindset stuff to tech related things. I actually have even a video going through my tech journey of what I started on, which was an 8-inch laptop, to my current $10,000 setup. And you don't need like something like, again, I graduated to this after 5 years. I just used a little thing like this big, literally 8-inch, and off borrowed Wi-Fi from a Boston Public Library, and then graduated to a laptop, upgraded the laptop. So there's really not much tech stuff, but our YouTube page is a great place to start. And again, feel free to reach out to us too. And we'd be more than happy to point you in the right direction. Kickstarter would also be a great start as well. But we have a lot of, Facebook would be a good thing too, because we're in there constantly. So if you have questions, we can quickly respond and point people in the right direction. So our Facebook group, just another quick reminder, I'm going to drop the link for that now. So you have that. And let me get the link for the other two. So here is the link. I'm dropping it in the chat. This is for the Kickstarter. Oops. And I don't know if it's going to let me do it that way. Give me 1 second and I'll post that. So everybody that's on, we have a few people on this now. Do you want to unmute? You can also turn your camera on. If anybody who's on the Zoom with us, if you have any questions, feel free. And I'll pull up that link for the Kickstarter.
And the link that I'm dropping, Danny, inside of the chat, if you want to grab that and let people know that's where people can go apply, and just, if they're not sure what to do, just apply. That'll give us your information and help us kind of understand where you are. And then it'll kind of direct you based on the information you give us.
Sure.
Got David Whitman, Alpesh, Savannah, the original, the one and only, and Mr. P. Welcome, welcome.
Does anybody on this Zoom call have any questions, or you guys are just on a hangout? Either way, it's all good. So what do you actually get in the community? Jennifer asked. So one of the biggest disconnects that we see with people who are just consuming education, like for example, if somebody with zero experience, like I was just telling Carter to do, is go consume YouTube, right? I mean, YouTube is great. There's a lot of videos from a lot of different people on every possible subject in the world. But, and I can probably give you an analogy that'll probably drive this point home for you. So if Carter were to start consuming all of our material, right? And if he had questions, or if he wanted feedback, or if he wanted live trainings, or, you know, a weekly Q&A, or to see us do it in real time, right? Like, you can't get that when you're just consuming on YouTube and things like that. So the community is basically our home base for instant support, right? So if you have questions, if you want somebody to look at your trade journal, if you want somebody to review your chart markups, it's there, right? We have a ton of stuff. So like, I could probably even share my screen really quickly and just kind of give you a glimpse inside the community. This is something that, you know, it's just a great place, because I'm going to share my screen. You'll see it pop up in just a moment here. So this is both. You're going to be seeing EFXU and the other community as well, but you'll get an idea of what's provided, right? I mean, you can see we have mentor posts where myself and other educators and top traders are consistently posting charts and Loom videos and breakdowns. Like Mirko, he's one of our educators and multi-six-figure trader. He just did an outlook for the week, dropping an outlook on EU, GU, UCHEF, and I think he did Euro Great Britain in that as well. So here's my breakdown of US 30 price action that I've been dropping every single week for the students. So you can see, I mean, there's a lot of ways to get support in here, right? I mean, we do discussions, we have the mentor posts, we have a live chat where you can just talk about anything and get, you know, if you have a question for me, you drop a question, you're going to get a response from me or my team instantly. You know, you can have your chart markups reviewed. We have live training events. We have a resource section. There's a lot of really good stuff here. And you can see, compared to, you know, EFXU is a lot more robust. We have a funding pod. We have an accountability system. There's just a lot of really good stuff here. You can see we have 517 people inside of our EFX circle. So you can see there's just a lot of good stuff here. It's just like the home base for getting support, getting help, and speed tracking your results. That's probably the best way that I can put it. Here is my question. Do I only trade crypto? So I trade Forex primarily. So specifically, I specialize with gold and US 30, EU, and GU. But what we teach works on crypto as well. But crypto, I don't day trade crypto. What do you recommend as starting capital? Zero. There's so much easier ways to trade without using any of your own money. So I trade, and I've been trading for 5-something years at this point, and I don't trade a dime of my own money. A dime of my own money. There is just much better ways, and that's what a lot of our model inside EFXU is based on, showing people how they can trade. And think about this for just a moment. Think about like what your goals are. Like if you're making, let's just say, $3,000 to $5,000 a month, and you're trying to trade Forex, and you want to replace that income. And I'll bring out the calculator here just so you can have some exact numbers, right? So if you wanted to replace your income making, let's just say $5,000, right? And let's just say you average, on average, let's just say, for example, say 10% a month, you would be needing, and let's see here, you would need a $5,000 account, or excuse me, a $50,000 account, if my math is serving me correct. Yeah, so you need a $50,000 account. Most people just don't have $50,000 laying around that they can deposit into an account. And then, you know, if you want to deposit little bits of money, you know, sure, you can grow it, but at what expense, at what cost? It's going to just take you a lot of time. Versus there are companies like prop firms like FTMO, and there's a ton of them out there that will give you the capital to trade on, up to, some of them up to $1 million. Some of them allow you to scale to $1.5, $2 million. You can get as low in most cases as $10,000. The average for most people is probably $100,000, $200,000 account, and you keep anywhere from 70 to 90% of the profits and zero risk to you. So I would say it's safe to say that 95% of our students use prop firms or private investors. So, or a combination of public and private investors. Most of them are not trading their own money. We can't recommend brokers. We just can't recommend brokers.
To be clear, that doesn't mean we don't use brokers. It's
Yeah.
just that legally, from a compliance perspective, things get really, really icky when we recommend a specific one.
Using the risk management you teach, what would be the average percent gain per month? I mean, so it's kind of a loaded question. It really depends on the person. I would say we usually see if I was looking at the sample within our community, I mean, that can range from anywhere from 5 to 10% plus a month. I mean, it really depends on how active you're trading, the time frames you're trading. I mean, it could look night and day from somebody that's trading mid to lower time frames to somebody that's trading 1 hour and above. I mean, and it also depends on how much somebody is risking per trade. On average, I risk 1% per trade. A lot of people might be doing 2%. So, there's just a lot of variables when it comes to that. But feel free to unmute yourself. You guys can talk directly to us on the Zoom call. I'll drop the link again if anybody in the chat wants to hop on. We have 51 people watching in YouTube. I just dropped the Zoom link. Feel free to hop on and just unmute yourself and just talk with us face to face. Otherwise, if you have any questions, link for the YouTube. You're on it right now. If you're watching us, you're on YouTube. You can just click us right at the bottom there. It'll say the Smart Money Trader, and you can follow our page. You can probably subscribe right there. Is this live recorded? Yes, this live is recorded. I learned everything about trading from your YouTube channel. That's awesome. We appreciate it. Glad you guys are all getting value from the stuff that we put out. Once you're in Kickstarter, can you always upgrade? Absolutely. There's no obligation to, but you can always upgrade down the road if you'd like to. Could be fun to watch and get inside your mind as you process the information. So we do live stuff like that inside our community just about every single week. We just did a live training for NFP. We did a 1 to 10 in about 15 minutes. And we do a lot of live trading like that. And we do live breakdowns like tomorrow. I do a live technical analysis call. And we jump on the charts with the entire community, like an open Zoom like this, where everybody can talk, everybody can watch me do what I do, ask questions. And then we go through our watch list that we follow through every single week. So we got our pairs, we have our markups, we leave them there to see how price reacted based on what we marked up. And then we just update the price action analysis every single week. Let's see. Cool. I think I'm caught up with all the questions, unless anybody else has any other questions, or if I missed anything that you all asked. I just started subscribing and listening to you. I took a class a few years back and still trying to figure things out. I might have read that one twice.
And let us know as well, guys, if you're getting value from this call.
You guys hear me?
If this is
a
good use of time.
What's going on, David?
Hey, you guys primarily just do just Forex. You do any ES? I'll be frank and honest with you. I've probably lost like 75 grand trading ES futures and trading Forex, and I've tried different brokers and tried different classes and everything. And I'm just wondering, what's your primary focus? Is it just Forex?
Yeah, so it's primarily Forex, but what we do will apply. I mean, we've had some people even use it in the stock market. It definitely applies to both crypto and Forex. But for myself, I just trade Forex,
Okay.
specifically metals and indices. But it's primarily Forex, and our model is based on using other people's cash to trade, right? So, it's primarily through public and private investors inside our network that we plug our students into for a profit exchange. Typically, that's going to be 80% of profits go to the trader. If the trader loses and hits a drawdown buffer, typically that's right around 10 to 12%. they just get removed off the account, but they can always get a new one. So it's zero risk, zero monetary risk to the actual trader. And that's basically what our business model is. So there's upside, and really good upside for scaling, which is the great thing about trading is, in order to scale, right? Somebody making $5,000 a month to even $100,000 a month, it's not about doing more. It's just scaling the size of your account, and prop firms are an easy way of doing that with zero risk trading wise to the trader.
I know you can't recommend brokers, but I've tried several. Being here in the US, they took a lot of our leverage away years ago.
Yes,
Do
unfortunately.
you guys primarily trade during the New York session, those 2, 3, 4 hours, and that's it, and then get out? And
so I do
positions, or
I do primarily. I trade specifically the New York London overlap, which starts at 8 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And then more so towards 9:30 when equity opens with the New York Stock Exchange for the indices that I watch. But rule of thumb that the way that we direct our students is to do mid to higher time frames. So in that scenario, the time doesn't really matter too much of when they're executing trades, because most of our students are working, have full-time jobs, have full-time families, and a lot of people just don't have the availability to just sit in front of a computer in the morning. So that's usually something I tell people to graduate into, versus like literally just day trading, watching lower time frames on, a lot of these pairs during a very volatile time period.
So you don't take overnight positions, you just trade?
I used to do a lot of, so when I was working full time as a commercial painter, it was all positions. The majority of them were overnight, buy limits, sell limits, things like that. And they were mid to higher time frames. So I was holding them on average, 2 to 3 days on the low end in most cases, because I was swing trading. But that's the great thing about our concepts. I don't know how familiar you are with our YouTube channel, but a lot of when I was trading, when I was first coming into this game, a lot of what we had to do based on like the style of trader relied on the strategy. For example, a scalping strategy wasn't something you could use for position or swing trading, and vice versa, right? You would have to adapt the strategy to the style of trader. The concepts that we use, it doesn't matter if you're scalping, it doesn't matter if you're intraday or holding positions for days or weeks or months, it's all the same, regardless of the time frame, which is the beauty of it. So we do have many traders that just do pending limits, pending orders, and do hold trades overnight.
Okay. Yeah. I like trading the ES futures. That's seconds in and seconds out. And I was used to that for years. And then I went to trading Forex and trading overnight and that type of thing, but wasn't successful at any of it. So anyway.
Yeah, and I could speak to that real quick too, David.
Sure.
Your situation is, we see it time and time again, is like, does this, work with futures? Does it work with options? Does it work with this? And when we dig deeper, it's like, well, have you had success with those things yet? Right. And it's like people are wanting to have success in this trading thing. And it usually always comes back to the fundamentals, which is having an actual structure and a system that you can repeat. Right. And then having something to measure against so you can see where you're falling short, how to iterate on that plan, and then how to find what we call a positive trade expectancy. Right. So all of these systems we teach, it's a blueprint, it's a roadmap. So it doesn't matter what the actual vehicle is, like it's just success principles. And we've just been able to do that and duplicate that over indices, metals, Forex, currency pairs. It doesn't really matter what it is. It just comes back to the fundamentals. And typically that's where people kind of have those aha moments, is like, oh my God, I was missing all of these things in front of strategy and all of these things behind strategy. When you put them all together, trading actually becomes fun. And like Danny said, most of our guys have full-time obligations, and we truthfully don't want to be sitting in front of this computer screen all day. Like, I want to have a life, right? And so that's where the freedom comes from. That's where the fun comes in, and when you can actually just like execute the game plan on the charts. And it's just a lot of fun, man.
Yeah, I've got all the time in the world. I have a vending company that run it at night, and
Oh, cool.
So I have all the time in the world, and that's probably my problem.
Yeah, exactly.
It can be, yeah.
Yeah.
So I love to trade, but I've never successfully had teachers teach me. I've been in and out of courses countless courses over 10 years, and I've traded every instrument in the world, feeder cattle, everything, you name it, I've traded it, but never seen a successful person do it consistently.
Yeah, if you're comfortable, man, I would suggest Bogdan shoots you a private message right here on Zoom.
I'm comfortable as hell. I've got plenty of capital and time, and
Yeah,
I just
no,
want somebody to show me something that
no,
works.
of course, and honest to God, like really, this is not a pitch fest to anybody. We're here to help, but I mean, if you're raising your hand, Bogdan's the best person to talk to right now. Bogdan, I would send David just a PM and exchange contacts, and he'll be the best person to guide you.
Yeah,
Thanks.
sounds good, David. Maybe if you just want to
Thanks,
tag
Joe.
me in the chat, and then just drop your best email. That's probably the best way to do it, because there's no like PM in Zoom.
Well, that's what I mean. Like a private, you could private message in Zoom, can't you?
I'm not. Oh yeah, you can. Just
Yeah, you could
go to the
private
bottom
message
and
so
just
that not
select the
everybody gets
person.
David's
That's what I mean.
email, send them
That's what I meant.
insurance.
Yeah, just tag me, hit the
There you
everyone button, and then drop down, hit Bogdan, drop me your best email.
Hit what button, Joe?
Bogdan, you
Yeah.
might want to do it. Just do
Yeah.
2 and
Yeah.
select him.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Sammy said, bro, you are the best YouTuber. I don't know about that, but I appreciate it. You guys are doing such good work. Thanks a lot for all the value. Appreciate it. Much love.
And I don't want to beat a dead horse, but like I'm so glad David brought that up. I'm going to put it to you this way, guys. We believe that the strategy is not your shortcut to success. True mentorship is your shortcut to success. And that's in anything. And why? Is because when somebody is a step ahead of you or 10 steps ahead of you, situations like David's, or maybe you guys have a different situation that you come across that's causing inconsistency in your trading, the right mentor can actually see the pitfalls because they've experienced them, or they're helping other people that have been through your situation and they can navigate. So it really is like a time and a skill hack, if you will. And that's where most people lose a lot of time and money. Like David was saying, you know, to use your example, you've lost 75K and all this kind of stuff. It's not because you're not competent. It's because you're probably not following the right information and you don't have anybody to bounce, you know, those problems against to get feedback. And that's where the power truly comes from with mentorship and community and having people a step ahead of you. At least that's in our experience. We found it to be tremendously helpful. And we use it all the time in our business.
Alex, did you have a question as well? Oh, he was just muting.
Yes, I have a question.
Sure.
Okay, I joined I went to the EFX site, so I went through the videos. That's where I got my idea about trading.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what he said. Did he get cut off? I think he's
Yeah, breaking up.
Yeah.
I read
Alex,
a from account, sorry.
Alex,
Sorry,
you were breaking up right there. I don't know if you want to type it in the chat.
Sorry, let me just finish. So I did a pro-farm account. Yes, the first pro-farm account, I lose the account. So I went back, I did more back test. So then I took the next one. Then I passed it. So now I'm actually trading it live now. And I learned everything from the EFX side. So I was just like feeling like people need to know what you have done for me. So
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Appreciate that. That's great news. Well done.
That's why I find a way to like this. And I'm actually doing a lot from the YouTube channel. So I'm actually staying true to everything. But it's just that when it's to the Kickstart, I see that I already passed the Kickstart to the EFX side. So I'm actually going for the community now.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
We'll be in there.
Cool, man. Alpesh said, what is mid time frame? So when I was saying that, you know, we have lower time frame, which I'd probably consider 1 to up to like the 15. Mid is probably 15 to like that 1 hour area. You know, maybe even like the 2 hour, and then you have the higher time frames, 4 hour, daily, weekly, monthly. So mid is just in the middle.
Okay, thanks. Fantastic.
Yep, no worries.
And hey, David, not sure if you're still on. I got your email, so appreciate that. Actually, interestingly enough, one of our trading advisors just freed up their schedule. They have an opening like right now for the next hour. So if you're around, I can connect you two over email. He can drop you a link and you guys can chat one-on-one. Just
Sure.
drop me a message. Let me know if that works.
Yeah, I'm good.
Cool. Awesome. Well, I don't know if our Jorge is in the building. What's up, man? This group is getting people funded left and right with these concepts. Love it.
Is that our Jorge?
Yeah. That's
my guy.
Yeah. Can you give more insight on how you're able to create funded accounts? Yeah. So there's a lot of different prop firms out there, and more insight on how you're able to create funded accounts. So, Mike, I don't know if you want to unmute just so I understand you correctly, more insight on how to get funded accounts. I think that's what you were asking. If you just want to clarify that for me, you can do it in the chat as well.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Oh, it's a little low, but I can hear you.
No better?
Yes, perfect.
All right, something wrong with my mic here. I can't get the turn. There we go. All right. Well, my question is, I mean, I've been trying to learn, trading for a little bit of time now. Basically since the pandemic hit. I'm older. At my age, it's hard for me to find work again. So I'm like on very limited funds. And I've pretty much blew through most of my own funds trying to understand the concepts, and I've went through different programs, and it's I don't know if I'm just missing something. I mean, I can have some good trades and then turn around and have some awful ones.
Right.
That really just hit me hard, like for example, something's going good, and then next thing you know, I'm like it totally turns around on me in a blink of an eye. I look away from the computer and it turns around and it goes south on me, and then it costs me money. So what my question is, where do you get these funded accounts, and do you have funded accounts that you are able to help people generate? Because this is something I'm passionate about learning and educating as much as I can about it. Like I said, at my age, it's hard to get back into the field I was in. I was a commercial door installer,
Okay.
Big 40-foot rolling steel doors, stuff like that.
Right.
So it's not something that I can really possibly get back into doing. And this is something that I want to do here is
right.
the trading. I spend most of my days watching my grandchildren so everybody else can work.
Awesome. Yeah. It's a good question. So, it's kind of like two things I'm going to say. So like one of the biggest things that we see, and it's just, and this is just honestly, man, like just from working with a lot of people in a lot of different environments over the years, we worked with big groups, small, intimate settings, you name it. Typically the big disconnect for most people, right? It's the results, it's the knowledge. And then the disconnect is the bridge that they're trying to gap is trying to achieve the results. In most cases, it's lack of systems. In most cases, the emphasis goes on to the strategy, and I think most traders acknowledge that there's some mindset work that needs to be done. Typically, I say to our students, rarely will your results exceed self-development, right? There's a transformation that has to take place. Usually the results that we're achieving, not just in trading, everything in our life is a reflection of us, right? It's like how you do one thing is how you do everything. So a lot of it is just leveling up internally. And, that's usually when you see that the external reflection of those results. When it comes to the strategy, when it comes to trading, a lot of that is just coming down to systems and documentation. I dropped a post today on my Facebook. I'm not sure if you follow me on Facebook. It's just my name. If you want to, it's just my personal Facebook account. I dropped a post today, and it was just kind of talking about my recipe for success, and I'll pull it up. And there was 5 major ingredients. One of them was just preparation. A lot of traders aren't preparing properly. The next ingredient was the self-development, which I was just kind of touching on there, realizing that when we come into trading, rarely is that current version of ourselves capable of achieving the result that we want, right? Like, you know, when I first started, I wasn't a version of myself that was able to trade or manage multiple 7 figures. I had to become a different person. I had to think differently. I needed a different mindset. I needed to be able to manage emotions, the whole 9, right? So that's a big one. Here's probably one of the biggest: measuring. So this is measuring us as people, how we respond to information on the charts, how do we respond to monetary loss, how we respond to wins, how we respond to the information that we are consistently receiving when we're watching these charts, right? Being able to measure that and our reaction to these things, whether it's positive, neutral, or negative. And then obviously too, measuring our chart work, our trades, how we manage our trades, how we enter, how we exit, right? And that's really coming down to like a really effective trade journal. Most trade journals are trash. They're just, here's your trade, enter your pair, enter your time that you entered it. What was it? A buy, sell, you know, do you win, lose, whatever, right? Like very basic. You know, you need to, it's like a business, right? A business can only do as well as the data that they're collecting about what's doing well, what's not doing well, where do they need to lean, where do they need to optimize, where do they need to scale, right? So measuring is just a big one. And typically it's just having these different things in place. And then the other one was environment and routine. I kind of just touched on that a little bit. And then the last one, the big ingredient, was copy others. Right. I mean, find people. I noted in this that one of the world's best personal development coaches, Tony Robbins, says, if you want success, find people who had achieved the result you want, doing the thing that you want to do, and copy what they do, and you'll achieve the same result. So those are like the big things right there. Most traders are just putting probably 90% onto what they're doing on the charts, maybe a little sprinkling in a little mindset, and then they wonder why they're not getting the result. And it's usually just the lack of balance between those different ingredients, or just the just not having the right ingredients, or, you know, how to put those ingredients together. So that's that. We can probably talk on this a lot longer. And I plan on going live again on YouTube this week. And we could probably dive into that a little bit more. To answer your other question about the prop firms or the funded accounts. So a lot of these are third party. We do have stuff internally, you know, there's private and public investors that will always be available to trading. That's why I love Forex. It's just, you're not going to have that same availability for crypto or stocks unless there's something new out there that I just am not familiar with. I don't have my finger on the pulse as much as I do in the Forex world. But in trading Forex, there are companies that will literally give you $5,000, $10,000, $25,000, $50,000, $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 accounts, sometimes even up to $1 million. And then when you get on those accounts, you keep whatever you make in terms of, there's percentages. All of them are slightly different, right? I mean, there's, you know, I'm not associated with these companies, but, you know, if you Google them, you'll probably see the big ones out there, the FTMO, the funded trader, you know, I don't know, there's endless ones out there, and Trustpilot's probably a really good way to vet them and do some due diligence, but most of them are going to give you 70, 80, 90%, and they only continue to be more incentivized for the trader because it's a big market for these companies, and they're competing, and the way they compete is make it more favorable for the traders in terms of incentives. You know, I just did one, I passed a 400K challenge recently, and they were doing 90% profits and 150% refund on your money. So, I mean, you know, there's such good incentives right now for, you know, it's a great time to be a Forex trader. I'll say that. I mean, it's just a great way to, you know, get on a large sum of money. I wouldn't recommend starting on something big. I'd probably start more on the 25K ballpark, get comfortable, and then scale it. But I mean, it's a great way to get onto well-funded accounts or decently well-funded accounts. And you know, those 10% percentages that you were making on $1,000 account, it can turn to 5 figures pretty quick. So a little bit of a rant there, but hopefully you got some value or a little bit of insight into your question.
I
I
guess.
see a couple. Oh,
I'm sorry. Yeah, I do had just one little brief thing.
Sure.
That is now I'm sure these companies ain't just going to hand their money to anybody. So I mean,
Yep, that's 100% right.
There's obviously steps that you have to take, correct?
For sure. So most of them will have a 1 or 2 part qualification.
Okay.
So again, like all the prop firms are basically the same, but there's slightly different variations. So I would say the bulk of them will have like a 2 part verification phase, and they can all differ in length of time. So for example, I was doing one recently. It's called a rapid challenge. So within the first, I have, you can get funded as early as I think 3 days, or maybe it's 7 days. I'd have to double check. But basically for the first phase for most of these prop firms is you have to get anywhere between 8 and 10% on the account. And they'll usually give you anywhere between 30, 60, some of them 90 days to do that. And then once you hit that goal, you have to do the same thing for the second part, but it's usually half as much. So typically it's like, 4 or 5 or 6% that you need. And then once you do that, and they usually give you longer on the second part, right? I mean, you can get it quickly. Most of them are like 3 days, 10 days, or 20 days, but they'll give you 60, 90 days. Or if you end in profit, but you don't hit your goal, they'll give you a redo. So, I mean, that's kind of like a high level view of how these prop firms work. They all have little different technicalities, but yeah, they do have some type of verification just to make sure you have, a plan, right? And you're using proper risk management, and that you have a strategy, and that you're just not like winging it and gambling and, trying to just make some money quick.
All right. Thank you.
No problem. We got Mirko with the K tuning in. What's up, man? I almost finished the Kickstarter, the 60 modules, and doing well, almost 1K per month profit, and not able to trade with my emotions. And I wanted to know, what could I do or learn next? That was from Gorilla. Well, that's awesome to hear. Are you inside our community? We got Joe Cronin on here, my brother-in-law.
Awesome. Who was it that just dropped that comment, Danny?
Gorilla on the YouTube.
Gorilla is making some of that monkey money. $1,000 a month. That's awesome.
Not bad. Not bad.
That's freaking awesome. Was the question what to do next?
yeah.
Wanted to know what I could do or learn next.
Well, assuming the goal is to take that 1,000 and turn that into a bigger number, then doing either an application or joining community are going to be a good fit for you. If you're already making money, I would apply, because you may be a better fit for EFX University than you would the community. You probably need more hands-on exposure to our team, hands-on access to Danny. If you're already printing, you're already monetizing, getting Danny in there ASAP to look at things and really see where we can take that from 1K to 10K a month. That's probably the lowest hanging fruit.
Yeah, you're in a really good position to do that too.
Can you drop that link again? The one that you dropped above, the new guarantee.
The apply.
The apply?
Yep. Yeah.
Where do you want me to drop it?
Well, Danny can drop it in YouTube unless you have it open.
Yeah, I mean, you're in a really good position to, here's the thing, like, that's the great thing about trading. It's like, if you're doing $1,000 a month consistently, I don't know what size account you're trading on, but, to scale and really do something with trading, whether, your goal is to leave your job, it's just about optimizing things now and then scaling and just getting on bigger accounts and it's off to the races from there, man. You're like in a really good, when you get to that spot, man, it's like, the world is yours at that point. Now it's just, you got to hone in some of the skills and scale it. And when you're in a scaling phase, it's a fun phase to be in.
You might just be able to keep things where they are, make a couple tweaks per Danny's recommendation, and then just scale the account size. And in like a month, you're doing significant multiples on that.
What size account are you currently trading on right now? And I'm going to scroll up a little bit. Great value. Cool. Still good. We've had a consistent 50 people watching this stream. So hopefully you guys are enjoying this, and we're definitely planning on doing more streams like this. I definitely plan on going again this week, probably Thursday. I would say most likely Thursday we can do something.
Boo, every day or die. That's what we're doing. Everyone drop a 1 in the chat if you want Danny to go live every day. We'll make it happen.
Cool. I don't see any other questions in there. Anybody else have any questions? Savannah or Alex, I just saw your message. No worries. He's got bad network. He's at work. Cool. Well, if we have no other questions, so I started with 600 only and made 2K in 2 months of profit. Well, that's amazing. That's amazing.
It's a $600 account.
Yeah. So that's huge growth.
Pretty aggressive. Yeah. That's.
Can I get your Facebook profile? Sure. What is my Facebook profile? I believe it's just Danny Reardon
Don't
FX.
Yeah, be careful though. I'd rather give people a link because there's a lot of impersonators out there.
Yeah, I'm getting the link right now. Yeah, just always be careful, everybody. Like, there's a lot of people right now making weird variations of my name, and they'll add like an N or the add an R. I'm never going to message you and ask you for money, period. So Facebook is an easy way. I'm going to drop that now. And my Facebook is the same as my IG. Just Danny Reardon FX. That's it. No added numbers, no added letters. There we go. I just dropped it in the chat. I'll just drop it in this chat too. How can you join the EFX community? I can drop that for you. Do we have that one available? So if you're in Kickstarter already, or if you you want to upgrade, or if you want to just get into the community, I can drop that. Or can one of you guys give me that link?
Yeah, I can find it.
I'm like, give me 1 second. I can find it. Yeah, give me 2 seconds and I'll get that for you.
I got
Is
it.
it the special bundle one?
Yeah, do that one. I was just gonna say, actually, for people that tuned in today, just throw in the trenches with it. So that'll get them in the trenches and community.
There you go. So if you want to upgrade, or if you want to just join the community, there's the link for that, and we'll throw in the trenches, which is like complimentary training to Kickstarter. Cool. Request sent. Joe said, I followed your YouTube account forever, never seen you guys. But this is actually our first time going live on Facebook. I'm excuse me, YouTube, but we're going to be doing it more. Okay, Mike. Yeah, I just saw it, Mike. I'm going to accept it. Oh, I did see it. There it is. I just accepted it. Cool. All right. Anybody else have any other questions for us before we wrap it up? We've been on here for almost an hour and a half, and it doesn't feel like that at all.
Nope.
I thought this was a lot of fun hanging out with everybody today. Appreciate all of you who hopped on the call with us. And we'll probably do some more of that. I was thinking about doing like a big like Q&A type of thing and just dropping the Zoom link and letting you all hop on and we can just chat. We'll do some chart related stuff too. And again, we'll be dropping the content again every Thursday within the next week or so, and get back to our normal cadence with that. We just needed to make some internal changes. We got a new editor and all that good stuff. So I'm looking forward to dropping some new content for everybody. And if you have any ideas, or if you want some, like somebody said, some beginner MT4 videos, if you have anything that you want to see, drop it in the chat as well. We'll make a note of it and we'll put it in our bank for future YouTube videos to create. And it just helps us know what you all want to see and what you want to consume and what you all need help with. Other than that, I'm all good, boys. If you guys have any last words or
No, this has been
Enjoyed
super
it.
fun. Thanks
Cool.
everybody. Until
awesome.
next time. Cheers.
Take care, everyone. It was awesome hanging out with you guys. We'll see you in the next one.